In the winter of 2008, the banks were failing and being bailed out with the public's money. And in that moment of broken trust, someone built an escape hatch. October 31st, 2008. 9 pages, signed by a name no one could find. Satoshi Nakamoto. The promise was simple. Money you could send to anyone, anywhere, without asking a bank for permission. The very first block of Bitcoin carried that headline inside it. A protest, frozen into the code forever. The root problem with conventional currency, Satoshi wrote, is all the trust that's required to make it work. The dream had a slogan: be your own bank. No middlemen, no gatekeepers, no one who could freeze your account or debase your savings. To its believers, this wasn't just software, it was freedom. It spread. A programmable blockchain called Ethereum promised a whole economy without companies. Over 1 billion people had no bank, but a phone in their pocket. For a while, it really did look like the future. But a funny thing happens to a revolution when the price starts going up. The dream of freedom quietly became something older and far more familiar: the dream of getting rich. By 2017, Bitcoin ran from $1,000 toward $20,000. Strangers became millionaires on paper, and 1,000 new coins appeared overnight, each promising to be the next one. Companies offered what banks never could. 20% risk-free, they said. Lend us your coins. Trust us. It was the one thing the whole system was built to avoid, and almost everyone did it anyway. This is the part of the story the Greeks would recognize. The hero, certain he cannot fall. The applause, right before the silence. The first Titan fell in 2014. Mt. Gox handled most of the world's Bitcoin trades, until roughly 850,000 coins simply vanished. 12 years later, its creditors are still waiting to be paid. May 2022. A coin engineered to always be worth $1 broke, and the math built to save it instead destroyed it. In about 72 hours, roughly $40 billion evaporated, not stolen by a hacker, designed to fail, by a formula no one stopped to question. And it didn't fall alone. A $3 billion hedge fund had borrowed against it. When it collapsed, it took the lenders with it. The dominoes were all leaning on each other. One company told its customers to, quote, unbank yourself. Safer than a bank, its founder promised. Then it froze the doors with $4.7 billion of their money still inside. He is now serving 12 years. The largest collapse wore the friendliest face: FTX. Stadium deals, magazine covers, a founder who preached about giving it all away. Then a rival lit a single match on Twitter, and the empire went up in days. The man brought in to clean up the wreckage had once wound down Enron. He said he'd never seen anything like it. Over $8 billion of customer money gone. One by one, the untouchable faces of the boom walked into courtrooms. 25 years, 15, 12. The revolution against the powerful had produced its own powerful, and then destroyed them too. And still, the machine ran. On a single day in 2025, $19 billion in leveraged bets were wiped out in 24 hours. The largest one-day unwinding the market had ever seen. The names changed. The pattern never did. Behind every chart is a person, and studies of the boom found the same thing again and again. The people who arrived last, near the top, usually lost. Often young, often men. Often money they could not afford to lose. Where the money went, the predators followed. Fake investments, romance scams run out of industrial compounds. In 2025 alone, Americans reported over $11 billion lost to crypto fraud, the single largest category of online crime. Some fortunes weren't stolen, they were simply lost. A man in Wales spent years trying to dig a hard drive with thousands of coins out of a landfill. Another has 2 password guesses left on a fortune he can see, but never touch. Roughly a fifth of all Bitcoin may be gone for good. And some losses can't be measured in dollars. When Terra collapsed, the forums filled with people in crisis, and the moderators pin suicide prevention hotlines to the top of the page. This is the part of the story the charts never show. A movement that began by promising to protect ordinary people from the powerful had, too often, done the opposite. So it's fair to ask, was any of the promise real? The man who once called Bitcoin an index of money laundering now runs the largest Bitcoin fund on Earth. The rebellion didn't defeat Wall Street. Wall Street bought the rebellion. A system built to abolish the middleman now runs through them. Most of the Bitcoin inside America's new funds sits with a single custodian. And the government that Satoshi protested? It now holds one of the largest hoards of Bitcoin in the world. Even the digital cash people actually use, the stablecoin, is now, by law, freezable and seizable. The escape from money the state controls became money the state can switch off with a click. And yet, strip away the casino, and something real is still standing. For a family sending wages home, crypto quietly cut the cost of a transfer from 6% to less than 1%. In countries where the currency was melting, it became a dollar you could hold. When banks froze the accounts of protesters, the network didn't. And the people who truly held their own keys through every collapse kept every coin. The protocol itself has never been broken. That is the tragedy of crypto. Not that it was all a lie, but that a genuine chance to build something fairer was so often spent chasing the very things it was meant to escape. Declared dead nearly 500 times, the machine is still running tonight. What we choose to build on it, that part was never written into the code.